Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. So Volodymyr Zelensky was in the United States visiting Congress and got a mixed greeting. He was welcomed by President Biden in the Oval Office, and then when he went to Congress, the Democrats greeted him warmly, and the Republicans did not. Basically, the new Republican talking point is they don't want to fund the war in Ukraine. Russia hacked in to the RNC and the DNC servers back in 2015, 2016, and they released all the DNC information and did not release any RNC information. And RNC has been seemingly in bed with Russia ever since, whether it's supporting Russian talking points or taking Russian money that was laundered through the NRA and Maria Butina and all that good stuff. You know, then you got the Paul Manaforts and the oligarchs like Deripaska and various other things. They're just so intertwined with Russia and Russian money and Russian compromat that of course they're not going to greet Zelensky and support him. So I'm just curious. What was Zelensky's takeaway from his visit to Congress this afternoon? Judgment. Is he the subject of judgment, or is he coming up with judgment itself? Let's see what's going to cross it. The Emperor and the High Priestess. Okay, I think it's kind of a two-way street here. He received judgment from the Republicans, and he knows that judgment is coming from Putin. So he sees that's Putin propaganda. I don't think he believes that's the whole U.S. He understands Putin plays a part in that because he's smart enough and he's savvy enough to see that. But there's also judgment of Joe Biden in the White and the Democrats against Putin, and he sees that too. And ultimately, it's all about judgment. He came here to, again, raise the call, keep awareness of Ukraine's plight and their fight against imperialism by Russia. And he's counting on the U.S., the generosity and the wisdom of the U.S. to support his fight. Now, interestingly, when I was flipping through TikTok, I came across somebody's channel where he was trying to paint himself in the middle that he didn't have a dog in this fight. He clearly had a dog in the fight about funding of Ukraine. And then I went to his comment section, and it was just basically, why are we, he basically saying, we're giving him money every 2 weeks. Look at the look on the defense secretary's face. He's smiling like he's happy we're giving him money every 2 weeks. When is this going to stop? Blah, blah, blah. How do you use small words to explain to simple-minded people? First off, this broadcaster is not simple-minded. He is purposely manipulating people. If Congress approves a $100 billion appropriations bill to supply Ukraine with weapons, guess what? They don't spend all $100 million up front and just hand it to them. That's not how it works. It's meted out over time. Much like, the taxes that you owe for the end of the year. You can estimate your taxes. You don't pay them all up front first and then keep everything for the rest of the year. You give a portion of it every paycheck until the end of the year. Same kind of concept. This is not rocket science here. So if $100 million, 50 weeks, say, in the year, is 52, but let's keep the math simple, 50 weeks in the year. Guess what? They're going to get $2 million a year, and then that'll be $100 million at the end of the year. And if it's $100 billion, then $2 billion a week. Plus, you don't want to give them, if you're giving them all your ammunition stuff, then you don't have any for yourself. So you parse it out over time to allow your factories to crank out the munitions and the equipment that they need. I swear, people's critical thinking skills, it's like they've been flushed down the toilet. They don't use their brain for anything. They're just used to being told by somebody something, and then they just parrot it. Challenge things, people. Don't even take the things I say without double checking it. Now, if you look in my descriptions, I almost always have links so that you can read the story that I'm reading and you can interpret it too. Maybe you interpret it differently than I do. Maybe I made a mistake. I'm willing to admit that I make mistakes. But, you have to do a little legwork on your own end so that you can be informed. Anyways, preaching, not reading. Judgment, fighting against Putin. Oh, that's where I was going with this. Understand this war in Ukraine and U.S.'s involvement in it. The U.S. isn't doing it out of the goodness of its heart because we have this huge band crush on Ukraine. It's because this is just an extension of our foreign policy. It serves the U.S. interests to support Ukraine and defang Russia. That supports the U.S. Global interests and the U.S. foreign policy. So that we're focusing on China, not both China and Russia. In the past, so we're back to Zelensky. What did Zelensky think about his meeting? He had come to the United States before, and he was well greeted and well treated. He might have been looking forward to this visit back because, again, he's going around the world advocating for his country, trying to keep them funded so that they can keep progressing and force Russia out of the Ukraine. Another point that Bo, or the fifth column, brought up involving the Ukraine wars, Ukraine supplies grain and food to much of Europe. So Europe is going to probably support Ukraine because to not support them means if Ukraine comes out on top, you're probably not going to get as much food as other countries who were friendlier to them. So it serves the national interests of countries in the EU to support the Ukraine. Just saying. Oh, he was just, even though he's trying to steel himself for this, it's really disappointing to see the treatment that he got. Because what he got was a taste of what happens if Donald Trump gets back in power. What happens if the MAGA faction and the fascists that are sympathetic to Putin get further control over the government? He knows that he's in a bad way for his country when it comes to the U.S. And again, he was greeted like a hero when he came a year ago, and now he's being heckled by half the crowd. Overall, it was I think he feels it was a successful trip. He got what he wanted. He didn't get everything he wanted, but he got many of the things that he wanted or needed to prosecute this war against Russia. He got the funding. He got the items of value that he needs. Again, didn't get everything, but he got the stuff that he really needed. And the outcome, he's going to continue fighting that good fight, and he will continue to start, they will keep pushing Russia back. They will keep pushing Russia back. They will push him out, back to the borders, basically. What they're working towards now is basically getting to the river that separates Ukraine from the Crimea section. I think that's what they're trying to do before the wet weather sets in there. And they can kind of do that because, from what I've seen, Ukraine has been sending a lot of drones and testing out and locating Russia air defense systems. And by doing that, they can overwhelm them and then blow those up. And then when there's air defense systems that are blown up, there's gaps in air defense, which now allow the drones to go in there, or missiles to go in there and blow up fuel depots, ammo depots, and stuff like that, which really neuters the ability of Russia to respond. It seems like, from what I've seen, a lot of what Ukraine is doing is they're taking actions that protect their troops and minimize their loss of life. and they tend to attack Russian logistics. Russia just keeps throwing bodies in there like this is World War II, and it's not working. Yeah, their idea is to run the Ukrainians out of ammunition by shooting all their troops. That's not how Ukraine's prosecuting this war. There's complaints about how quickly Ukraine is or isn't going. I think they're doing fine. It seems like they're taking minimal equipment and manpower losses and inflicting larger equipment and manpower losses on the enemy, and are still making progress. You know, they'll have men to defend their country once they force Russia out. Okay. Anyways, enough on that one. Sorry, Mr. Zelensky, President Zelensky. We're better than that. We're just not better than that right now. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your likes, comments, and shares so that my video goes out to new viewers. And for those new viewers, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this video entertaining, and I hope you catch me on the next one. Take care, everyone, and have a good night. Bye-bye.